Well, Deuteronomy is that last book of our Torah, of the Pentateuch. Again, we think about the story God's telling there, that connected narrative. God chooses, he elects the covenant people in Genesis. He's going to redeem them in the book of Exodus. He's going to constitute them as a holy nation in Leviticus. He's going to show his power and his faithfulness in that desert experience by testing and providing. And then in Deuteronomy, we have a second generation. They're now going to inherit the covenant promise. They're now going to step up and follow through on claiming that land that God said, I'm going to give you, Abraham. You're going to have this piece of real estate, you and your people. You're going to dwell in the land I will show you. And so Deuteronomy is that we're at the threshold. We're at the doorstep of the land of the promise. And the second generation is going to occupy that land. Well, part of the book of Deuteronomy is this covenant renewal. This generation is going to sign on and say, yes, we believe. We're going to accept covenant response. We're going to obey what you've told us to do as we think about worship, as we think about social justice, as we think about the stipulations of covenant promise. We're going to sign on, and we're going to agree to abide by that. We're going to obey. Well, one of the questions I think in Deuteronomy is, what's our motivation? Is this just sheer determination, force of will, discipline? Well, when you read the book of Deuteronomy, we get these repeated verses. You will love the Lord your God, and him you will serve. Him you will obey. So this idea of love, loving God with your whole person, seems to me becomes the motive for covenant keeping for the Hebrew people. There's this idea that because God has acted, we respond in love. And out of that love response, we obey. And there's some relationship here between love and obedience. And so as I think about this book of Deuteronomy, this second covenant, this covenant renewal book, there's something there very important about my motive, about how we relate to God, about how we respond to his work in history, his work of redemption, his work of faithfulness and preservation. God has acted. And out of that, we respond in love and we obey. Lovingly because of what God has done. And so for me, that word love and Deuteronomy get connected as I think about what God is doing by way of motive on the part of his people to respond to his good work of redemption in history.